a broadcast network committed to serving you the very best in online and offline television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Matter Africa, TVN Business Time, Healthy Living, From the Cradle, Stay Inspired, Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hit Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained, at the edge of your seat and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your number one choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on Nightcomsat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future. Television Nigerian is located in Nigeria at Television Nigerian House, Guzape Hilltop Mansion, beside Guzape White House, Guzape Abuja FCT, and in the United Kingdom at 45 Ancient House, 48 Aerodrome Road, Beaufort Park, Colindale, London. For inquiries,
your body bang, bang, your body bang, 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 your body bang, bang, your body bang. And I give us when you take a selfie, when you take a pose, you the ginger the boy. Every time you bend the low, I'm okay when you take it.
It's a very lovely morning in the nation's capital, Abuja. This is Television Nigerian, your one-stop station where you get the very best of everything that sets you in the mood for a very, very wonderful day. It is a Monday, the 16th day of March 2020. Welcome to Daybreak Africa. I am Charles Ibe.
And I am Priscilla Ajishila, also saying welcome to Daybreak Africa. Here you get everything you need to start up your day and to make sure that you're informed and enlightened, to make sure that you have the best day going forward.
Okay, the very best day going forward, Priscilla. It is still hot season.
Exactly.
Everywhere you go, heat is the main thing right now.
Yeah, but sometimes the weather is a little bit confused. Sometimes it drizzles, sometimes it rains, sometimes it gets a little bit cold, then it gets hot again. I don't really know, but the heat is definitely the most, the most obvious one. Just hot all of the
I
time.
was actually complaining when I got to hear that somehow it might be a blessing in disguise because of the dreaded coronavirus. I don't know how, it's not really been confirmed that the coronavirus doesn't like heat. Perhaps maybe that's why it's not really ravaging like in African countries like it's doing in every other climes.
That's actually quite interesting because the last person that said this was dragged on Twitter.
Oh, okay. But we don't have, we are here and, and we're still keeping fit and we are coping with the heat anyway. Africans are strong, like I always say. Strong genes, strong everything, bigger than coronavirus. We can deal with it. We're already containing it.
I'm actually very impressed that we've come this far, and the fact is we're at like the least ravaged part of the world when it comes to this whole coronavirus pandemic. So that's definitely great.
But that doesn't mean that we don't empathize with people in those countries where the coronavirus is actually running riot right now. It's really, really major. churches were closed,
Exactly.
football matches. I mean, I heard couple of guys complaining bitterly about
Football
having to
matches,
their matches.
exactly.
I mean, UEFA and all of that. It affected a whole lot of things, schools.
Yes,
I
in
mean,
fact,
that
some
means
parts of the world, they don't condone any form of public gatherings. In fact, they have banned public gatherings.
yes.
And that's actually,
I'm wondering, how do they cope in those places?
How do
I
they
mean,
cope?
how do they eat? I mean, going out has become, sometimes it's some streets that you get to see on TV. It's more like a ghost town. Everybody's indoors. What would they be doing indoors? What? I mean, going out to socialize, no parties, no
it's
church.
actually sad. Not being
It's
able
sad,
to go
really.
to school or anything like that. It's just sad. Really
It's sad. Well, let's not even overlook the fact that even Nigeria, all the African countries are on top of their games right now, trying to ensure that this disease is contained. And I believe scientists all over the world are working day in, day out, trying to find
Exactly.
something to
With the
contain.
way coronavirus is spreading, it's obvious that it's not something we should take lightly. And I also know that even generally, people are very, very conscious now. Everybody has some kind of hand sanitizer, everybody's
Exactly.
washing their hands, and that's actually very, very good.
It is. I mean, personal hygiene. I mean, observing all that the World Health Organization has put out as measures to ensure that the coronavirus doesn't really go beyond. I mean, it's already a pandemic.
It is.
Yeah, so it doesn't go beyond that. Let it just remain there. And let it just pack its load and get out of here. Africa, we don't need it. Even the whole world, we don't need coronavirus. Let's just hope it ends soon so that everything goes back to normal. Okay, now, this is Monday, and in Abuja today, a whole lot is going to happen, especially in the political stuff. The good old dear APC, they are in the storm, let me just say it like, I think it's a battle. A lot of people have described it severally. It's a battle for the soul, for the survival of APC. Today, a whole lot of activities are lined up. The man in the eye of the storm, that's the comrade Adams Oshomole, that's the national chair. Is he still national?
No.
Let's say
Suspended.
the embattled, suspended national chairman. He is not taking it lightly. I mean, covertly though. His people are working, ensuring that that he remains, he stays put.
Exactly.
Today, the court is going to rule, the appeal court is going to listen to his appeal against his suspension. And then by tomorrow, we're supposed to have the neck. And then today again, it's in the news that the president is going to be talking to governors on the APC, progressive governors. They're going to have a parley with the president. And tension is everywhere. They'll never tell. The Shomole camp says no shaking. He's coming back strong. And then the other camps are not backing down. Not forgetting the permutation about who takes over. I mean, we saw over the weekend the South governors, their meeting. They put off Victor Giadom as the, what do they call it? Interim, that to be the interim national chairman. And it didn't go down well with some governors.
The thing is, I feel like Adams Oshomole, as a person right now, he's on the edge.
Yes.
He's doing a lot, and he's shaking a lot of tables, trying to make an effort to make sure that he gets back his position. And that's not far-fetched, because I feel like anybody in that place would do the same. And the fact is, for the longest time, he has had this position, and he has enjoyed, what comes with you. I don't think he'll just want to let it go. And the fact is, there's been so many meetings and stuff lately. I just feel like they have some kind of, they have some things, there are other things happening that we the public don't know about.
Exactly.
That's just
At one point, I was beginning to question: is it actually? Where is the whole interest? Is it about democracy? Is it about good governance? Or is it about the personality and ego? Is it about the politicians trying to flex muscle? I am the one controlling the soul of APC. I'm the one controlling the soul, the party structure in state A or state B. And then not forgetting this much talked about 2023. So in all of this, where are those good governance? I'm still looking through the whole maze to find out where good governance, where patriotism, where Nigeria comes in.
Well,
You
this just
understand?
goes to show that when it comes to Nigerian politics, it's more about the people in power
Exactly.
and what they intend to gain. The truth is, as much as we're it's been like this for the longest time.
It is.
I don't think
Yes,
it's something
it
that's new. I feel like some Nigerians are even used to it. They're like, I'm a big man too. I hear people say that a lot of times, and I'm like, why should it be like that? The masses should be the priority. But
Exactly.
apparently, that's not the case.
Yeah, because I've taken time to read through all these things, the speeches. Recently, the Ashiwaju, the strong man of Lagos politics, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he came out blowing hot about people that are against the Shomole and all of that. And I mean, there are unconfirmed stories, news that he was trying to prevail on the president to win in. The president had already played. Before now, he had been like, okay, do your thing. So there is an unconfirmed story that all the way from London, the Ashiwaju was trying to prevail on the president to do something. He had to do something, especially about his neck. So from now, unconfirmed sources now, it is like the president might not really be attending the neck, because according to feelers, that if he does, the whole soul of APC is going to really, the outcome might not really be favorable in the long run. And that is why he is trying to convene a meeting of all the APC governors, so that today he will try to play the fatherly role.
Yeah.
So perhaps, I don't know how tomorrow is going to pan out for APC.
Yeah.
Whether, because there's the national chairman, North, I mean, he's insisting that the neck is going to happen, and a whole lot of things planned. And it appears the whole neck thing is all about Shomole. I wouldn't know.
The thing is, right now, there's always some drama every week. Last week it was about Ganduje and Sanusi, and every time the president always tries to play, that whole I'm not involved thing, like, okay, this is happening. Yeah, I'm aware, but I did not play any kind of part. I always see him do that, like he just stays, on the fence. He does not try to side any side. I think it's actually very, very commendable.
Yeah, because he did say at the onset, I think it was in 2015, I am for everybody, I'm for nobody.
Yeah.
So if APC is having a problem, deal with it.
Exactly.
If PDP is having issues, deal with it. If ABGA or whatever, deal with it. Don't expect the president to wade in. I mean, because now he's the president of Nigeria, not the president of APC, even though he's on that platform. But he is the father of all. But that doesn't mean he shouldn't be interested in the crisis going on in the party. He should also be interested in the crisis going on in PDP, if there is any party.
I think
Any
he just
ministry
doesn't want to be involved in any kind of party politics or any kind of scandal. I think he's just trying to play safe.
Yeah, but now he's calling APC governors, hopefully to tell them, you guys, please.
Well, since he's the one calling them, then he's going to do most of the talking. So let's see what he has to say. And
then we're still keeping our fingers crossed for tomorrow. It's even about today, because the outcome of the appeal court is either in favor or against APC. It has a whole lot against Oshomole, has a whole lot to add to tomorrow's neck meeting. But all in all we can only say is, let there be peace in APC, in PDP, everywhere. Nigeria needs peace right now. We have a lot of other issues that we really have to contend with: coronavirus, insecurity, hunger.
The explosion at Abule Ado,
very, very, very sad.
State. That was definitely, like, it was crazy, because even when I heard, I was confused. I was like, okay, so what caused the explosion and everything? And the truth is, these things happen so often in Nigeria. Something happens, and once it's sorted, people just, what caused the explosion? Shouldn't that we should be trying to find ways to prevent such things from reoccurring?
Some were saying it's from the bus pipeline.
Yeah, I actually heard that a tanker or a truck hit some gas pipes and a gas station, and then apart from that, there was actually a pipeline close by. And then
there must have been a leakage or something.
Yes.
So that's kind of the
And
it happened close to a secondary school.
Exactly.
A lot of there was one news I saw that I think the principal or thereabout died trying to rescue students. I think the death toll has gotten over up to 50 or
yes, we're seeing, and it
sad.
keeps spiraling, because the fact is there were houses that did not actually get gutted by fire, but they scattered. There was
pandemonium. That's what you can expect in some of these situations.
Very, very sad.
Well, let's commiserate with those who have lost lives, properties, and all of that in that explosion that happened. It was a sad day. Our feelings, our prayers, and every other thing we remain with you right here from Daybreak Africa. Right now,
and also people that are in the hospitals. I heard there are tons of people in the hospital. Let's
hope they get the best of care and bounce back on their feet. And also with the Lagos State government, the people of Lagos State, we commiserate with all of you for the losses. I mean, it's sad.
It's very sad.
Okay, right now, Daybreak Africa is going to continue. We'll be going to take some news headlines, and when we come back, the show will continue, hopefully with Aisha joining the gang. Let's have the headlines. Many thanks for still staying tuned, and if you're just joining us, it is still Daybreak Africa, where we bring Africa to the fore every morning. And Aisha just joined again.
Right. Morning, Priscilla. Morning, Charles.
Good morning. I guess we are stuck in traffic as usual.
Of course.
So maybe,
as usual.
No, Monday mornings are always
very crazy with traffic, and especially in Abuja here.
In Abuja, yeah. So maybe you might share with Africa a little bit of your experience. Was it hot out there?
It was indeed hot coming here, and then the traffic was almost not manageable. But then we got here, so.
Yeah. So congratulations, you made it.
Thank you.
And I'm sure while we had time to go through the news, maybe on your tab.
Yes, I did.
And you must have known a lot about what is happening.
Of course.
Yeah, before now, I and Priscilla have talked about some issues. We talked about the weather, we talked about coronavirus, we talked about APC.
Right.
Maybe you still have something more to add.
Yes, a new one, something not very new. It happened just yesterday. Lagosians were again thrown into agony. Yes. Just yesterday, there was a pipeline explosion that rocked Abule Ado in Lagos State, and we've been seeing the reports making the rounds. Some people talking about their losses, the victims. Although, as at the time I watched the video yesterday, we had not had confirmed casualties. But as of this morning, there are lots of casualties. President Buhari has commiserated with all those affected by the explosion in Abule Ado in Lagos State. The Nigerian president said he received with sadness the news of the incident, which caused loss of lives and property. Buhari has sent his deepest sympathies to the victims, their families, and people of Lagos State over the incident.
Okay.
Well,
good one.
Okay, I saw just yesterday, NEMA came out to say it was not as a result of reckless abandon, that it was more like, I think NFPC also came out to say it was more like a truck hit one of the gas cylinders.
Okay.
So that was what caused the explosion. And then I saw a school principal that was trying to rescue her students. She had lost her life.
I saw some families actually lost their lives.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the properties and all. It's really sad.
Right, it's indeed sad. I don't know how we are still recording cases like this. It's appalling.
Exactly.
And on the fact that the president also took out time to commiserate with the victims, I mean, it's commendable.
Yeah, I was in talks with some Lagos residents, and they said that they heard the explosion from the end of
Lagos, even very
like,
far away from.
Like they said everywhere. They said there were even some places that the way you hear the sound, you think it happened like behind, and then you be like, where is this coming from? It's really crazy. It's really sad.
And then this is not the first time we're hearing incidents like this. The other time it was a truck loading with fuel. Exactly. That one also exploded on the bridge, one of the bridges there in Lagos State. And now we're hearing this one.
And we always see market fires and things like that. Well, what is the way forward? Because we can't continue losing lives and property because of all of these explosions and all of these fires.
I think preventive measures, I don't know how they're going to go about it. So that, I mean, we should be proactive and not reactive to all of these things. Shouldn't there be preventive measures around places where you have pipelines, around areas where sensitive materials, maybe erect a kind of barricade or something. I don't know.
Okay, this one they're saying a truck hit one of the gas cylinders. How come trucks are allowed to pass through where pipelines are?
They said there are pipelines and there's it's actually sad because apart from the pipeline, there's houses built around the pipelines. Why do we have residential areas
very
around
close,
where there
exactly.
are pipelines?
And why are trucks moving in that area?
Exactly. And how come there's even a gas station there?
Yeah.
There's a gas station, there's pipelines, then all of this is just so much happening in the same place, and there are residents and all of that.
You know, when sometimes government tries to put in measures about city town planning and all of that, when you have the bulldozers have to roll to bring down structures, a lot of people start crying, this, and that. You know, these are things that should be taken into consideration. Town planners, even if it has to be shanties, I think there's nothing that stops having a planned shanty. I mean, or planned slum. I don't know how you can call it.
You know, somewhere like Nigeria.
They should plan everywhere.
To think that the Lagos State government is claiming they want a better Lagos State and everything, how come all of these ones have not even been put in place? You know, you'd recall just last week they were bringing down some shops because they feel they're not part of, they're not planned, they're not part of the plan. And now, even the band Keke and also Okada, how come this one was not even put into
consideration?
I don't understand.
So I think citizens have to also know that when government do some certain things, they have reasons for doing what they do. It's not really it might appear to be anti-people, because actually change is not supposed to be very nice. Right. Sometimes change has to come with pain, but after time, you get to realize how the intent. I mean, it will ameliorate every other thing. So I think more of preventive measures. Anywhere there are people, anywhere a single Nigerian is, no matter how the location is, a slum or shanty, government should move in there and ensure that the safety measures are put in. But not just about fires, security of lives and property is key. I mean, it's one of the key jobs of the government. Provide for your people. It's not only in the cities, in the GRAs, in the city centers, out there, shanties, wherever Nigerians are struggling to make a living. Concerted effort should be put in to ensure that their lives are made a whole lot easier, because they contribute to the GDP of this country. Whatever they do, one way or the other, they contribute to the growth of Nigeria.
Well, that's a sad one for Lagos State there. Our heart goes out to the families of the affected families. Now, moving away from that, you'd recall just last week we talked about this we talked about Oshomole appealing his case today, Monday, and then Monday is here. But then the national leader of the All Progressives Congress has come out to say something regarding the embattled Adams Oshomole. Finally, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu comes out strong against some forces within the party as 2023 approaches. He has come out to say this is more like a witch hunt because 2023 is coming, so everybody they now want to put Oshomole under a hot seat or something. But then again, what do you really think about this, the war in the All Progressives Congress and the national chairman?
Well, I think it might not be very far from the truth if they say it's about 2023 general elections. But then I think it's all about Oshomole. I mean, he had some attributes. He's a very good, he's a leader. But I mean, leadership comes with a whole lot of qualities. But sometimes when one of the qualities tends to rub up negatively on a lot of people, you might be surprised how your opponents, because you can never be liked by everybody. You understand? So how they are going to capitalize on that. So Oshomole had some negative attributes that he has been accused of being domineering, he has been accused of being high-handed, and a whole lot of issues. And it's not forgetting the crisis back home in his home state, which is actually why all these things emanated and got to this level. Right. So Oshomole now in the midst of all the things, and Tinubu coming in at this point in time, he had been quiet all of a sudden. I mean, for a while, and
so
then all of a sudden
Tinubu coming out
in.
to say something now, I think it is raising something.
Yes,
because people will now be wondering, is Tinubu in support of Oshomole?
Exactly.
Because at first we're wondering, okay, who's really supporting Oshomole? Who really has his back?
Yeah, the comrade has a lot of backing. You cannot wave Oshomole out like that. Oshomole is a strong man of Nigerian politics, no matter whatever he's going through right now. And it has been a game of ping pong. Today is the Abaseki camp having upper hand. Tomorrow Oshomole bounces back.
That's actually that's funny, very funny.
It is, because now if you really have to go about the 2023 analysis that people are saying, then Tinubu should come in, because I mean, if he has
whether he
has
is interested in the presidency campaign,
and we all know that Oshomole is close to him. So with Oshomole in the saddle, a whole lot of things might go the way of Tinubu. I mean, but then, to me, if you put all these things, I think the thing that should be paramount here is Nigeria.
Right.
APC should think about Nigeria first.
We should think about the now. We should think about the now.
People get talking about Tinubu and Oshomole, and I was like, who's going to talk about the people? I should talk about the people. Okay, yeah, so we're the people of Nigeria. We are tired of all this politics that is not about us and it's just about some men who are just, who is about some names. Like we keep hearing some names consistently.
Over and
over again. Why can't we start hearing about the people? Like the people should be the priority. And the fact is, it's still 2020. A lot of things are not yet in place, and then people are still already planning towards getting political positions in 2023. Shouldn't they be more focused on finding, ways to make sure that
life is better?
Exactly.
Well, still talking about the embattled Oshomole, another stakeholder of the All Progressives Congress, a chieftain of the APC, Perekeme Podo, says the grand plan against Adams Oshomole is to frustrate some people out of the party. Podo maintains that those fighting Oshomole never struggled to make APC what it is today, but wants to recap where they did not. They did not sow. The chieftain pleads with Buhari, Asiwaju Tinubu, and others to stand firm behind Oshomole if they too must survive.
One thing that worries me about all of this, I'm not an APC member, I don't carry any card. I'm a Nigerian, it's all about politics. But what worries me is this. If at the end of the day, with this obvious factionalization, if at the end of the day Oshomole wins at the Supreme Court, goes to the neck and retains his seat, how do you think it's going to affect the party?
Definitely it's going to affect the party.
Especially those who are so bent on...
Because as it is now, he has already sieved out those who are his enemies and those who are his friends. So if in an event today, by the end of today, the appeal court says, okay, the case against you, it's just like you said, it's the basis upon which this was passed is not even right at all, and then it's in your favor, you're going back as the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. You can only imagine what's going to happen.
See, it's also comes if at the end of the day they say out with Oshomole, and then tomorrow next says out with Oshomole. Don't forget that Oshomole has structures already. He has followers and all of that. Somewhere, I was having a conversation over the weekend with someone, and he kept talking about third force. That this is a very, very grand standing for third force. Whatever happens, that the third force might arise out of this whole thing. I don't know if the APC is thinking about this thing right now. There was a committee that was set up by the APC to wade into, especially the Oshomole Obaseki crisis in Edo State. Right. The committee, I don't know, we've not seen the outcome of that committee. And then politicians always run into court. It's now court that decides everything. Even the neck has to be decided by the court. The suspension of Oshomole by the court.
That was what I was saying just last week. Why do we have to keep running to the courts? Why do we have to keep bothering the courtroom?
I think Nigerian...
We've seen so many appeals in the last 2 weeks. It's becoming a trend.
Meanwhile, the
court already rules on something. They come back to appeal. Another court now rules on something else. It's
Nigerian
the whole
politicians should
process.
just go and sit down in the school and learn how politics should
I think
play.
they should learn how democracy is done. I don't think the problem is politics. I think they do great. When
It's
it comes to
politicians that do all of this. It's
They do
politicians
great
that
when it
go.
comes to politics. It's democracy they don't really do great at.
Yeah.
That's just my feeling.
Well, moving on to another major story, the Attorney General Abubakar Malami says there is no truth in the claim that he facilitated the banishment of the throned Emir Sanusi to Nasarawa. Malami maintains that the case is before judicial consideration and that anything he says may become sub judice. Sanusi, who said he would not go to court over his dethronement, recently won a suit against his banishment.
Okay.
Now, this
Now,
is
the last we
AGF
heard-
Malami.
The last we heard, Sanusi is chilling somewhere in Lagos.
Right.
Now it's free.
And then the Oba of Lagos went to visit him. Nasir El-Rufai is chilling with him. It's as if he's more like a celebrity now.
It's
tell
crazy because when this whole thing started, there were a lot of people that came out and they were mocking him,
Right.
and condemning him, and this and that. And then the guys just
I think it was a blessing in disguise.
Yes, it is. But you might not, don't overlook the fact that there are a lot of people that still don't like Sanusi, even though he's a free man right now. I read somewhere in the news that the Kano Anti-Corruption Committee or thereabout is still going to try to institute some corruption cases against Sanusi. And then also there was some talk about, it was all about 2023, that Sanusi is a very good candidate for the presidency, that they might be.
I even saw some other reports saying the fact that Nasir El-Rufai is lending his support to Sanusi. Now, you know, he went to Nasarawa State to personally lift him from there, get him out of there. But now people are saying it's because of his 2023 ambition. And then I'm wondering, how does this even add up?
I don't know. But not if you're looking at it on a very plain, Sanusi might be a credible candidate.
Yeah, and he's actually very enlightened, very
his sound,
exposed.
his education, and all of that. But if you still look at some other things people speak about him, and it's all about words. What really did he do when he was in the Emirate? He spent so much money renovating the thrones and all of that, and then didn't really do much to elevate the plight of the Almajiris and the downtrodden people that he always spoke about. And he should have done more than speak. You understand?
Yeah,
So, but all in all, putting it all together, Sanusi is a great guy. Now I think he has won his freedom. He's free to do anything. So what he decides to do next, it's all up to him.
Yeah, during that time when this whole thing started, a lot of people were saying part of the reason why he was removed was because he was always standing up for women and encouraging women to, you know, stand up for their rights. And then it was a serious, how do I call it? It was a serious conversation on Twitter. People were like, so how is that the reason? And then the fact is, us women, in some way, a lot of women have, I know people that have crushes on Sanusi for the fact that he's a Muslim man and he says women should stand up for their rights. The fact is, in the Muslim community,
And he's good
people
looking.
don't encourage women
And
to
he's
do
good
stuff
looking,
like
though.
that. He is quite
And
looking.
quite outspoken.
Exactly.
Women like that. I'm sure Aisha somewhere had a crush.
Okay.
All right.
So the AGF coming out to say nobody should maybe connecting with Sanusi's
Yes.
dethronement. I'm sure maybe a lot of people are already pointing fingers at him, saying, okay, you may be part of the people who plotted this.
At one point, there was even a report that the presidency was behind it. That, and you know, when Buhari was away, that Sanusi allegedly begged to be made the VP to Shibanjo or something like not believing that. I mean, there was a crazy stories that we kept hearing.
The reports we keep hearing in the media.
Nigerians are very active on the social media and
Right.
they talk a whole lot of issues. It's all left for people to really look at these stories, decipher which one is real,
the
and then
truth.
trash the other ones. That all of that. But in the whole, all this, like I said, Sanusi is a great guy. He's out. He has a lot still to offer Nigeria, still to offer Kano State. I mean, I personally, I think I will challenge him to do more. All those things he said when he was on the throne. Now he can really, he has friends across Nigeria, across borders.
Right.
Get them all to come to Kano and do things that will alleviate the plight
of the Kano State.
He can
Not
still-
just even Kano State, of
Yes,
the
of
Northerners.
Northerners.
Because Sanusi was particular about the North.
No. And he had a lot of templates. He kept talking about how this is supposed to be done. I think now it's time for him to really do.
Now it's
Perhaps
time for him
he
to be
was,
proactive.
when he was on the throne, perhaps he was confined by some cultural restrictions.
Right,
or
I think
stuff
that was
he
the
could not
main
do.
issue they really had with him, because I think I was in talks with one Kano State indigene. And then the person said they're actually happy that Sanusi is gone now. And then I was like, okay, why are you excited that he's gone? He was like, he was not a traditional ruler. He was meant to keep quiet, but he was always talking, and he'll come out and be speaking English. He was not really speaking to the common masses. And then I was wondering, oh, indeed, if the North does not change itself, the North will destroy itself.
He said so himself.
That was what
so
he
now
said.
what I think Sanusi should do is all those wonderful templates he had, put it together in a book, have organized seminars. I mean, there's nothing that stops him from relating to this. I don't know whether culturally he's barred from even talking to this current emir.
Right.
But if in the interest of the people, he should put up the blueprints for good governance, especially for radical change in the North, because they really need a lot of things to be changed, and some status quo need to give, so that, I mean, progress will come, especially in our Marjorie. And
the girl child education, the Almajiri, and then the beggars on the street. All of these are issues the North is faced with.
Exactly.
And then this former emir, it has come out to talk so much about
so
it.
you should aggregate most of all those things he was always talking about, put it together in a book. I don't think I've seen any book written by Sanusi. Maybe he's not really a prolific writer as much as he speaks, but maybe somebody should somewhere put down or put it in a book, give out blueprints to Kano State government, to northern governors. I mean, to Nigeria.
At least he has started one with Nasser El-Rufai already.
Yes.
So I think he should call on other northern governors. Let them talk. Let them help the North.
Exactly.
All right. So much about what is happening. Thank you very much, Aisha, for the news you brought, because we're actually waiting for it, and now we've had it. I think it's time for us to move across the African frontiers to find out what is happening in some countries across Africa. And when the show returns, hopefully, it's going to be Aisha and Priscilla running the show. Let's come back again to Daybreak Africa. Stay tuned.
Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed on Sunday announced that he had secured a continent-wide support for coronavirus from Chinese businessman Jack Ma. Abiy said the package, which was to benefit all African countries, will comprise testing kits, masks, and guideline books on treating methods. Jack Ma, the Alibaba founder, had recently donated 1 million face masks to the United States as part of measures to help deal with the spreading virus. The platform was to promote Ethiopia's export products to the global market and open the door for small enterprise to become competitive. South Africa's Supreme Court of Appeal has rejected former President Jacob Zuma's application to appeal a lower court's decision that he should stand trial for corruption, a registrar of the court said on Friday. According to the local news agency Eyewitness News, the SCA ruled that Zuma appeal against an October decision by the Pietermaritzburg High Court had no reasonable prospect of success. Zuma, in office from 2009 to 2018, had appealed for the stay of prosecution for alleged fraud, racketeering, money laundering, and relating to a deal to buy European military equipment for South Africa's armed forces in 2019. A Canadian woman and her Italian partner, kidnapped in Burkina Faso in 2018, have been found in good health after escaping captivity. Credit Blaze and Luca Techito, both in their 30s, managed to escape their captors near the northern city of Kidal during the weekend and were taken to the local base of the UN mission in Mali. The pair were then flown out on Saturday afternoon on a special plane to Mali capital Bamako. They were taken to the presidential palace where they met President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta before being repatriated. The couple in December 2018 disappeared while traveling through the West African country. They were driven by a car to Ouagadougou from Bobo Dioulasso, more than 360 kilometers west of the capital, when they were kidnapped. The northern Western African country has been battered by heavy rain and strong winds that began in the early hours of Thursday and continued on Friday. Egypt has not experienced such weather conditions in nearly 35 to 40 years. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said this weather condition resulted in about 20 deaths across the country. 13 people were injured on Thursday when two passenger trains collided in Cairo because of the weather. The government said local media reported several deaths because of electric shock, partial collapse of buildings, or road accidents over Thursday and Friday. Dozens of South Africans repatriated from China over the coronavirus have been taken to quarantine facility. The 146 South Africans who were working and studying in the virus epicenter of Wuhan in Hubei province, arrived in the country on Saturday and were sent to a remote resort in the Limpopo province for 21 days. According to the South African Health Ministry, none of the returnees were infected by the virus. However, placing them under quarantine is only a precautionary measure. This is much we have for you on News Across Africa. Daybreak Africa continues shortly.
And that was News Across Africa.
So much happening on the African frontiers.
And one that really caught my attention is the spread of coronavirus, right?
It's like every single day we keep hearing something new
About coronavirus, especially one country or the other. And now, okay, you'd recall just last week we were talking about Gabon and Ghana closing their borders, saying, imposing a travel ban on some officials, public officials, that if you do not have anything very important to go to another country to do, then there's no need traveling.
And then the fact is, we've been hearing of so many football matches cancelled, you know, and the fact is right now, a lot of countries are very, very skeptical about letting players go out to play.
Do you think that with all of that precautionary measures that Gabon and Ghana put in place, now, according to reports making the rounds just as at Friday, we heard that Gabon and Ghana already recorded their first cases?
Yeah, and then there's South Africa. South Africa has recorded over 50 cases of coronavirus at this point.
Wow.
That's actually very, very interesting.
That's like over 15 countries in Africa already.
Exactly. That just shows us to the point where we're like, everybody needs to be conscious.
And I think if the United States of America can even come out to place state of emergency in America. That means it's not a small issue any longer. And you'd recall just yesterday, President Donald Trump also tested negative.
Exactly.
He had to go for the test. White House came out to say the president is negative.
Well, thank God for that.
And then Cristiano Ronaldo donated his hotel as hospital, and then he also said he's going to pay the doctors who are going to be administering treatments, and then the treatment is free, everything is going to be free.
No,
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, like I always say, we're here for one another, right? And we can only do our best to contribute the little we can as human beings, if we have the lots of people in the world suffering this coronavirus disease, and then there are wealthy people out there who are not even willing to help, then of what use is your wealth?
Because fact is, at this point, a lot of people need that help, because there are people that cannot afford to pay. And then the fact is, if somebody has coronavirus, everybody around that person is at risk.
Right.
So it's better you know, give out your resources to help people, help, curb this spread of coronavirus.
Right, well, let us bring it back to Nigeria again. And for the longest time, we've been having this heat wave issue.
Exactly.
It's been there. And then it rained at some point, so we're thinking maybe the rain was going to help, but the rain didn't do much.
And then sometimes it actually gets cold for a few minutes or a few hours, and then it goes back to being hot. So there's just, that imbalance. I don't know.
I guess this would now bring us to this, right? This would now bring us to the segment where we talk about health, how it is key to tend to one's health, and then in trying to curb these heat waves, and then even generally, one has to drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water. That is very, very important. Right. And I've also heard that drinking water actually helps with coronavirus. I heard that if you drink water, you could actually wash down coronavirus, and then your stomach acids can destroy them.
Right.
Well, that's actually very, very interesting. So drinking water is not just good for your overall health, it's also a precautionary measure, a way to prevent coronavirus.
Okay, so let us see more health benefits with regards to drinking water. Stay with us.
We tend to complicate things when it comes to taking care of our health. A few simple steps can go a long way in taking care of our health, and one easy way of ensuring it is by drinking sufficient water in empty stomach first thing in the morning. Welcome to another episode of Healthy Living on Daybreak Africa. I am Chiwendu Usisiego. Today we shall be discussing on the benefits of drinking water in the morning. Water is essential to life, and your body needs it to function properly. One trending idea suggests that if you want to be healthier, you should drink water first thing in the morning. However, you may wonder whether the time of day really makes a difference when it comes to hydration. Some popular claims surrounding the idea of drinking water right after you wake up to determine whether the practice offers any health benefits. About 60% of your body is comprised of water. It's also considered an essential nutrient, meaning that your body cannot produce enough of it through metabolism to meet its daily needs. Therefore, you need to get it through foods and especially drinks to ensure proper bodily function. All organs and tissues depend on water, and it plays numerous roles in your body, including nutrient transportation. Water allows blood circulation, which transports nutrients to your cells and removes waste from them. Due to water's large heat capacity, it limits changes in body temperature in both warm and cold environments. Water helps lubricate joints and is an essential element of your body lubricating fluids, including saliva, gastric, intestinal, respiratory, and urinary mucus. Water acts as a shock absorber. Protecting your organs and tissues by helping maintain cellular shape. Your body loses water daily through sweat, breath, urine, and bowel movements. These are known as water outputs. If you don't take in enough water throughout the day to make up for these losses, it can lead to dehydration, which is associated with many detrimental health effects. This system is known as water balance and implies that water input must be equal to water output to avoid dehydration. In summary, water is an essential nutrient, and all organs and tissues in your body depends on it to function. Since your body loses water regularly, you need to compensate for these losses to avoid dehydration. And that's the much we have for you on Healthy Living. I am Chiwendu Usisioko. Don't forget that you can still follow us on our social media platform on Facebook and on YouTube, and also on Twitter for many more healthy tips. Many thanks for watching. Daybreak Africa continues shortly.
The importance of drinking water in the morning cannot be overemphasized.
Yep, and even drinking water generally during the day, making sure you are not dehydrated.
Right, because it's very, very pertinent. You cannot afford to stay dry. You have to drink water, lots and lots of water, especially to start your day. Just waking up, a doctor was telling me, waking up 15 minutes after you've woken up, you're expected to drink about how many glasses? I think he said 2 or 3. Drink water, because your body has used up the other ones. Now that we're sweating more, you're urinating more, and you're visiting the toilet more. I think we have to drink a lot of water to keep the body hydrated.
And I've heard that water is very good for your skin. Like if you keep drinking water, because water, it replenishes the body, it cleanses the body, it removes these toxins and everything.
Right.
So it's very good for your skin. For your skin to be healthy, you need to drink water regularly, and it's very, very important. It's very key.
Right. And then our next segment now is that of second-hand clothing. We've heard of okrika, the popular Nigerian way of calling UK used clothes. And then some people in Nigeria here have made it a business. They go ahead and, although maybe not now that the coronavirus outbreak is there, because it's not even advisable.
Truth be told,
it's not advisable.
They're selling okrika everywhere.
I think they are selling the ones they already have,
yeah.
not new ones. Because a lot of these countries are already closing their borders and nobody is allowed to travel in and out. So how do you get these clothes? But the most important thing is that the economic benefits of selling second-hand clothing in Nigeria. Because some people would come today, they call it, they buy it in bales, right?
Yeah.
They buy it in bales, and then you see some clothes, they look almost new.
Exactly.
And then
some of them actually come with tags. Like some of them have not been worn. Maybe they stay in the shops for too long, and then they were like, okay, let's get rid of these and get new ones. And then I see a lot of very nice clothes. And then a lot of people that can only afford to buy, very expensive clothes, or buy them, in big boutiques and big shops, they actually go ahead and buy them, and it works for them.
Okay, so let us see this report of how our second-hand clothing has become a major economic commodity. Stay with us.
Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, has different markets that serves the needs of the various classes of residents. Financial strength and social status play a vital role in the choice of market residents visit. Those who are financially buoyant visit exclusive shops in the plaza, strategically located at the high-born areas of the city. But the middle class and downtrodden, that unarguable constitutes large numbers of the city, are forced to visit crowded markets in different satellite towns to make purchase. Nyanya is adjudged to be one of the biggest satellite towns in Abuja. Its market days are every Wednesday, while the markets in the town attract customers from different parts of Abuja and beyond. The major attraction in the market is the second-hand clothing, otherwise called okrika or bend-down select. In spite of several markets in different locations in Abuja where such materials could be found, residents have found comfort and solace in Nyanya market. When asked why the buyers prefer the second-hand clothes than the new ones, they said it is more affordable and the economic situation of the country has made them to purchase second-hand clothes.
This man is selling 300 naira, but before it's 200. It's because this one is more cheaper than the new one. Yes. The quality, is true that the quality of the new one is more preferable than this one, but we are because of lack of money, so we prefer to go for this one because of the money.
Why? Because anywhere where your hand reach, you go see buy. If you reach there, you go see the one small money buy, and when you wash her, you go enjoy them. But that new one, you wash am 2 times, you don't finish. Some people feel buy now, you go take time, you go reach like 1 year before they go again. That is why some people prefer okay.
Because of the rate of the dollar, the falling ones of high rates, you understand? So that is why it was possible for this one.
Sellers, on the other hand, applauded the customers who have been patronizing them so far, and when asked about their challenges, they made mention of the border closure, among other challenges, that it has affected their business.
It's okay, they last, it dey cheaper now, it dey last, it dey cheaper. You carry 10,000 come market for okay, you go use am for at least 1 year. Without saying no buy any clothes again, except December time you buy new one. Okay, it's economical as I'm not sad to put down. No understand. Now make them allow us to do our business, more come on man for evil. I beg, hey government, may they allow us do this thing.
The borders are one of the challenges because I don't know the reason why they closed the border. As you can see, we are buying this thing before 80,000, but now we are buying 120. 150, 135, depends on the quality of the goods. You understand? Why? Because the government are not helping us. They don't want to grow. They want us to beg on the street, and we don't want to beg on the street.
Now it's not like before. Before we are buying this, it's not the rate of we are bought it now. You understand? Is it anything question again?
How much should they buy before?
Before it's 100,000, but now it's 200,000.
How much should they sell one?
One is 1,200. Last 1,000.
Why you feel say people like this Africa shirt?
Because of this one is everlasting one.
Everlasting.
Our market is done and no money. No money now. And they don't close borders. It's no money, no kaya. Everywhere they tight now. It's crying. So we dey play, may Baba help us. We open the border. Yes.
Fairly used items or okwika, as it is well known, is quite affordable here in Nyanya Market. Both the rich and the poor can afford it. No matter the amount you bring to Nyanya Market, you will definitely get something to go home with. And the sellers, on the other hand, are pleading to the federal government to come to their aid by opening up the border to make things easy for them. I'm Zoraira Hamza, TVN News.
Oh, second-hand clothing selling out fast right there.
Exactly, and a lot of people buy it because they cannot afford to buy, the normal clothes
Originals.
that, are sold.
I remember last week when you talked about you're going to be getting the DIYs over. Which designer was that again?
Okay, we're talking about our favorite, international designers. I think it was
was it Giorgio Armani?
I think it was Giorgio. A couple of them, because we cannot really afford to buy.
So I guess it's also the same issue with those purchasing the second-hand clothing, because they cannot really afford them, and then some of these clothes come out seemingly looking new, so they'll just go ahead. I know you heard someone saying they got one for 300 naira, something as cheap as that. And then the other lady talked about she sells clothes for kids. But now my major concern here is that the outbreak of coronavirus, right? And now it's no longer advisable for people who purchase this second-hand clothing to go ahead and keep buying them. And then for those who have already bought them, before you sell them, please go make sure you wash them completely. Or those who are buying from the sellers, the Nigerian retailers or wholesalers, make sure you wash them as neatly, as thoroughly as possible.
Honestly, I don't think these sellers wash them. If you ask me, I think people that go buy them should take that upon themselves. You're the one that is going to be
But then if you
affected.
can, I think you should even avoid them for now. Instead of buying and then going through the whole stress of thoroughly washing them, and you're not even sure if the virus is in it or not.
Exactly.
So it's better you just avoid them, because now it's even hard for the people purchasing this second-hand clothing now, because dollar has gone on the rise. Dollar is very expensive now. I think at about last week Friday it was 420. To a dollar to a naira was 420. So you can imagine how do they go ahead and buy clothes at this rate, and then the whole coronavirus outbreak is affecting the economy of the world.
It's affecting the whole world. The whole world over. Everywhere in the world is being affected by coronavirus. And truth is, the only thing people can do now is to be conscious enough to take care of their health. And then fact is, right now, buying Africa clothing is not that advisable.
And then I saw over the weekend some shops in the UK and then other parts of the world, some of them empty shelves. That means people have gone to get stuffs just to, some people are under self-quarantine or something, so they've gone to empty the whole shops. The shelves were empty, and then I'm wondering, this coronavirus outbreak is indeed a pandemic.
And that's why we should be grateful in this part of the world where we're not, as affected
as much as they are at the rest of the world. Because the other case we heard in the news just last week in Enugu State, although we're seeing it this morning again, that the patient is tested negative.
Exactly.
And then we talked about the Port Harcourt case too, and then the patient also tested negative. So I think the only case we have now is that of the Italian man in Lagos State, although the Federal Ministry of Health also came out to say soon they will discharge the man. Perhaps he's recovering or something. I do not know.
Well, I like the fact that more people have recovered from coronavirus than people that have died. You know, if I saw the numbers, and it's actually quite, it's actually quite interesting, the fact that more people have actually recovered than people that have died. So yes, if you have underlying health conditions, then you should definitely be careful right now, because I heard that the more underlying health conditions you have, the more you are prone, to, coronavirus and all of
Well, I think we should, for now, let us just end the whole coronavirus talk. Because if we can keep talking about it for the whole of today, and then we would never stop. But up next is fashion book on the different styles of applying cosmetics. Stay with us. Welcome to your fun-filled episode on Fashion Book. I am Uchechi Lemoa. Today we are going to be talking about makeup. Wow. A lot of women and a few men apply makeup on a daily basis. What is actually the reason why people apply makeup? Is it because they want to look good or hide some flaws in the natural appearance of facial feature? You may call it nonsense if you must, but spending quality time in front of a mirror is a daily ritual millions of women can't do without, whether they are preparing for an average day at work, a big event, or a date with that special someone. It all goes back to the ancient Egyptians, who were the first women to wear makeup. In a way, the basic motive back then was the same as it is today. Just like modern day supermodels, the well-to-do women of ancient Egypt wanted to look their best and saw the careful application of facial paint as a means to that end. But unlike today's modern women, they weren't trying to impress that cute guy at work or the guy at the important job interview. And the Egyptian women weren't trying to catch the eye of the boiling construction for men working on the pyramids or the local pharaoh either. The size were aimed at little higher. They were trying to impress the gods. That's amazing, of course. Evidence shows that the Egyptian ladies were dolling themselves up as early as 4000 BC. This was mainly, or at least in good part, to please the gods, as the women felt their appearance was directly related to their spiritual worth. So the Egyptian created the first cosmetics. As the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, the sight of a beautiful woman or girl turns heads, captures attention, and causes a great effect. Icon.
For me, I think, for me particularly, I love makeup because that is my work. Like, although a lot of people don't like makeup because they think that some girls do makeup just because they want to draw their attention. Some men think about that. But for me, I think I like makeup because that is my work and just that I'm good at that. Just it.
Okay.
Whatever you can put on your body to make you look good as a girl or as a woman, go ahead and use it. If it looks good on you, fine, go ahead and kiss my wife with makeup on her lips.
No, I think they appreciate the girls when they post it all over the place. You see, they like the comments. I don't know, I'm not a makeup person and I really don't wear makeup at all, except when it's really necessary.
Wow. I saw some makeups out there that are scary, I must say.
You know, the truth is, now I understand why sometimes people say people look like masquerades when they wear makeup. Because truth be told, some of these things don't look like makeup. They just look like you put your face inside color and brought it down.
But you remember the other time you and I were going through Instagram and then we saw those other people who are very creative in applying makeup.
Exactly.
And then you were even trying to convince me that it's art, is this, is that. So why are you not seeing this as art?
No, this is not art.
This is art. They're expressing themselves.
Oh,
right.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it doesn't work for you.
You go out looking like that, and then you wonder why people try to, talk to you somehow.
Maybe it doesn't work for you. Maybe it doesn't work for you, but it works for them.
It doesn't work for them. I'm certain.
Okay, so we're still talking about health matters, right? And then we know Africa, one of the major challenges Africa is faced with. It's not just Nigeria now. It's mosquitoes. We keep talking about the mosquitoes, these insects that are always flying up about the places and then causing malaria. And then even though some measures they bring out treated mosquito nets, and then you use your maybe
your
insecticides. But then mosquitoes are still in Africa.
Exactly.
Mosquitoes are still everywhere. And every day, even the United Nations even came out, and I think they declared the day World Malaria Day because it affects children more.
Yeah,
you see some children that are helpless.
Exactly.
You go to the hospitals, you go to the hospitals, and then you see children that are just there. What's the problem? It's malaria. Malaria. And then we've lost some children, not just children, even adults.
Because of malaria. In fact, if you go to any hospital, ask them how many patients they have. More than 50% of those patients will be sick from malaria.
Right.
It's like every time. In fact, nowadays in Nigeria, if you say you're sick, people are like, "Have you tested for malaria?"
And that's where self-medication even comes
Exactly.
in. Some people just feel if they are ill at all, then it's malaria. Well, there's a special report on mosquitoes, and mosquitoes are the main causes of malaria. Stay with us.
That wasn't me trying to give anyone a round of applause. It was just me depicting the typical scenario of killing mosquitoes with your bare hands.
Popular amongst flying insects, the mosquito is a household name with its operation synonymous to that of a vampire due to its blood-sucking features. What most people think is that all mosquitoes bite and spread malaria. What they do not know is that only the female ones do. When the mosquito strikes, even the strongest of men could be thrown off balance by its provoking song-like rhythm. Bite, and most of all, what follows: malaria. Little as it may seem, its bite and what follows has cost the lives of many, both young and old, as it is no respecter of age, sex, or stature, such that one might not be totally out of place to christen it small but mighty. To say mosquitoes are deadly is to say the least, as it has seen many companies come up with different things such as sprays, coils, treated nets, and other insect repellents, all aimed at keeping the rather small killers at bay. Interesting of it all is a discovery by scientists where a person's blood is poisoned with an exciting pill called ivermectin. The recent research shows it makes human blood poisonous to mosquitoes and kills them. A group of scientists discovered that disease-carrying flies died after feeding on human blood which contains this drug. Residents in some rural parts of the FCT expressed different opinions about this.
I'm very, very happy about the government, and the government really try about it. And we are very, very appreciative to hear that. Especially these our dogs, when we take that medicine, the medicine will work and everywhere. We thank God the environment will look clean, and thank God you see everything is dirty. And we are already happy to hear that what government is bringing for us. So we are very, very happy about it.
If it does not harm us, why not take it just to not to be infected with the malaria disease? So it's very, very good. So far it doesn't harm.
As drugs we are getting drugs to reduce the essence of mosquito in the area. And you see all these bolas, these things, these bolas, the people are living as we are living close to it like this, bring more mosquitoes close to us. But if we keep our environment clean, to protect, it will reduce the essence of mosquitoes close to our body.
Sauro zai kashe mu a wannan gari. Gaskiya ba mu son sauro a gaskiya daya. In gwamnati da su taimake mu Yanzu kamar ni da kin gani nan yadda na rame nan kwana na tashi malaria fever sosai. Ba karami shan ruwa na sha asibiti ba. Domin sauro yayi yawa. In gwamnati da su taimake mu gaskiya. A ruwa ma duka muna shan ruwa a rafi.
TVN crew also paid a visit to the chief of Guzape district, Mr. Bitrus Yakubu. The chief implored the government to assist in tackling environmental issues.
I want to beg government to assist us. And we are community, we can get up, we join together with the government to do community work.
Apparently, this innovation will be good news in Nigeria, a place where millions of people have died as a result of malaria caused by female mosquitoes, and millions also spent trying to tackle same. The sad story might hopefully change now, as the mosquito-killing effect in the new drug is set to last up to a month after patients are given the drug, which is already used to treat scabies. The good thing is, it is not harmful to humans. Researchers hope the drug can be used to stem the control of malaria and potentially other mosquito-borne diseases. The study published in the Lancet Infectious Diseases reveals that both doses of ivermectin are poisonous to mosquitoes for up to 28 days. It also shows 97% of mosquitoes died 2 weeks after feeding on the blood of patients giving the high dose of ivermectin. Lead researcher at the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, Dr. Menno Smith, happily welcomed the findings. He confirmed that even 1 month after the subjects took ivermectin, their blood was still killing mosquitoes. Amidst the hassles of coping in a mosquito-prone environment, these rural dwellers still laugh off their pains, hopeful that things would change for the better, someday, somehow.
Judging from the health risks posed by dirty environments, stagnant ponds, and so on, it is indeed a great thing, this innovation. Perhaps Nigerians would embrace it, perhaps they wouldn't. What's more is, there's hope for a malaria-free future. Eunice Johnson, TVN.
Mosquitoes doing more harm than good. more harm than good.
I mean, I like the report. Honestly, the fact is, at this point, I feel like some people are used to mosquitoes. Some people don't even try to kill mosquitoes in their environment. You get. And then the fact is, we cannot overemphasize the fact that stagnant water, dirty environment. Those are the things that actually cause.
That is how the mosquitoes. Those are the places that breed mosquitoes, right? So if we try as much as possible to maintain hygiene, our sanitation in our environment is kept top notch, I think we can at least reduce these mosquitoes to the barest minimum.
Yeah, and then once in a while we should try to fumigate our environment, try to use insecticides,
right?
And all of that.
And then in an event you already have the malaria, or you suspect you have symptoms of malaria, go ahead and see a doctor. I do not really advise self-medication because it is what we do in this part of the country, of the world, Nigeria. Self-medication is something that we promote. Even when you go to the pharmacy and then you tell them what you want, instead of the pharmacist attending to you to tell you, okay, what's wrong with you, or do you have a doctor's prescription? No, they'll just go ahead and give you drugs because you came to buy drugs, so they'll just go ahead and give you drugs. So I think in an event, if you suspect you have symptoms of malaria, go ahead and see the doctor. And then carry out some diagnosis, know what's actually wrong with you. Because some people confuse malaria for coronavirus. Right, or coronavirus for malaria. Right. So I think it's only better if we ensure that our health is given priority.
Exactly, and as much as we're raising consciousness for malaria, we should also remember that coronavirus is still out there. And then we should make... The fact is, if we're being clean and we're conscious about our hygiene and all, we're not just protecting ourselves from malaria, coronavirus, from a lot of
diseases, a lot of viruses out there, diseases. I think it all boils down to ensuring proper hygiene.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does.
So for the lots of you out there, make sure your hygiene is key priority, right? So I guess at this juncture, we'd have to draw the curtains here. Daybreak Africa has come to an end, and we hope that you've been informed, educated, because we brought you details of what's happening in politics, economy, and even governance, and of course what's happening in Africa as a continent. We do hope to come your way tomorrow, bright and early, on this same platform, Television Nigeria, and on your favorite breakfast show, Daybreak Africa. Have a blessed day ahead. I am Aisha Salih.
And I am Priscilla Ajeshola.